You can't so you can't go up to guys and say don't value this because it's what they want. So that's like
showing me that I'm stable, showing me that you're a foundation. That's protecting me, because if I don't feel safe,
single and no kids and not working at least 60 hours a week, you're lazy.
A guy you're dating hook up with other girls if you were doing work with other people?
Would you ever date a man who's experimented with another man?
There used to be a time that fairy tales were true. Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notifications button so you can get the videos as soon as I put them out. If you're looking for the music to the intro and you want the link to the second channel, both are below in the description. But can you do me a favor? Hit the notifications button right now. All right, guys, I got about 5 videos for you today. The first video is going to be just purely things again. It's going to be breaking down to a woman why a man doesn't want you for what you want them for. And that's a problem that a lot of females are facing now, is that they think all of their actions are supposed to be accepted by a man because he theoretically just wants her, and it doesn't work that way in modern society. Next video is going to be a cringy one. It's going to be Kevin Samuels. This time it's going to be directed towards the men, and this is why he's the GOAT. The reason why I'm reacting to this is because this is one that I want women to watch, that this is the side of Kevin that you did not see before he became the Kevin that you know him as now. And the third video is going to be B-Dub saying that we should be protected. And I will go in on this one about B-Dubs complaining about BMs not protecting them. Are we serious? Then we have a P-Hub star who is saying that when she's filming these movies, that's just work, but outside of work, she's actually a loyal girlfriend. Are we kidding? And then we have my man Sneaky Yo. He's going to be reacting to a video that I would be reacting to as well about double standards whenever it comes to women. And double standards are the things that's affecting us the most whenever it comes to relationship. Once again, men view life a certain way and women view life a certain way. In modern society, trying to get everybody think the same way is the problem that's causing too much conflict and confusion. Let's get to the first video.
selling a car and going up to it's not anything about who you are as a person, but it's what men value. So you can't so you can't go up to guys and say don't value this because it's what they want. So that's like me selling a car and going up to the people that want to buy a car and say like this car, and they say no, I don't want to buy that car because it's got too many miles. And you saying, well, you should like cars with high miles.
She's absolutely right. And that's what a lot of women are not understanding, is that you want to be able to run free because the actions that you make you feel good. Piling the makeup on your face, wearing tight clothes gets the attention. It makes you feel good. Showing up at a job and a man is forced to hire you because of equality makes you feel good. Getting your way, doing what you want to do makes you feel good. The only problem is men don't have to accept it. And the man that does accept you for being you, for making all your flaws, is typically mentally ill. A lot of women do not realize is that you're kind of left dating the guys who are mentally ill, because guys that think logically are actually staying away from you and is looking more towards submissive women. Next video, we got my man Kevin Samuels. This may just sting a little bit to a lot of you guys out there, but it's needed to be said. Let's get to it.
I'm tired of you guys trying to cheat. You're going to have to do the self-improvement work. You can be a pretty dude. You can be a handsome dude. If your mouthpiece is off, if your hygiene is messed up, if you're an asshole, you ain't gonna win. If you're single and no kids and not working at least 60 hours a week, you're lazy. Guess what? You're lazy. I don't want to hear any more this bullshit about quality of life and life is to be lived. Yeah, to be lived for average. You can live that average C life, that D life, but stop thinking you should have 8, 9s, and 10s and be eating steak and lobster and riding good, flying good, living good. You don't want to put the work in, then don't expect the outcome.
He's absolutely right. And this is what we battle a lot in this community. A lot of guys have replaced the word loser with the word introvert, which is why I say in a lot of my lectures, a lot of guys are not introverts. You're just miserable people. You have to understand, in life, you have to work for what you want. It's hard work maintaining looking good. It's hard work getting to success. It's hard work being that dude that can live out all their dreams. It's hard work. And I told you guys before, and Steve Harvey has told you, 50 Cent has told you, Diddy has told you, rich people do not sleep. If you're getting 8 hours of sleep a day, you're broke. If you're getting 5 hours of sleep a day, you're broke. But you guys out there, they be like, oh, try going 5 days without sleeping and try sleeping without this and watch what happens to your brain and watch what this happens and then your health conditions. I'm not saying stay woke. What I'm saying is you have to learn how to power nap to get your sleep. Your sleep may be 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then your next sleep, it may be from 7 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock at night. And then you got to get back up and keep moving. Those who want to be successful are willing to put in the work and take power naps. Those of you who think, oh, I gotta be perfect, I gotta sleep good, I gotta eat good, I gotta do this good, you're the type of people that never make it. And that's just real talk. Next video is gonna be some B-dubs saying that they need to be protected. Let's get to it.
Protecting Black women is not only just physical either. We need to protect Black women figuratively, emotionally, literally, socially, economically. You know what I mean? Protecting me means showing me that I'm stable, showing me that you're a foundation. That's protecting me. Because if I don't feel safe in my own home, if I don't feel safe all around,
and that's instilling a level of confidence in your life, a level of confidence in your children, all the protection that they're going to need. And when they're out in the world, they're going to feel protected by you in general because they know that came from you.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
100%.
All right, B-dubs, let's get to it. We're gonna get to it. All right, this is what you have to understand. Most of you B-dubs, and I'm talking Black women, before the age of 10, before you're able to date, before you even know where babies come from, before you even know anything about a relationship, most of you have already been taught that you do not need a man. Your mother is going to tell you, you do not need a man before you learn how to ride a bike, before you learn how to tie your shoes. Your mother is going to tell you, you do not need a man. So before your brain is fully developed, your consciousness is already filled with, you do not need a man. So a lot of you Black women don't realize you walk around with the aura, I don't need a man, I don't want a man. You walk around with it. It's so natural to you that you don't realize what you're doing to everyone around you to the point where they don't feel like they need to protect you. And they don't think that you're hurting because you're putting off the aura that you were taught before you were able to date. You can go to the average 7-year-old Black little girl right now and she will tell you, I do not need a man because mom and grandma has already told me that. Well, now you're an adult and you're still saying the same thing. You know why? Because you're programmed to telling Black men they're not good enough. But on the other end, Black men are raised to be simps. See, they're raised to save their mom. They're raised to be son husbands. They're raised to love and worship a Black woman. But the more that man tries to go for a Black woman, the more Black woman says you're not good enough. See, he's programmed at 6 to be a simp. You're programmed to be the dominant one that's better than him. That's what's wrong in the Black community. It's a mental illness that you don't see. The men are programmed to be simps. At the same time, the women are programmed to shut them down. It's a rotating cycle. Normally, the guy that ends up with the Black woman becomes the weakest. I see so many married couples at 40 and 50 years old of Black people that the man is the weakest one. And the only reason he's in a relationship is because he's always borrowing money off of his wife. Most of Black men that are married borrows money off of their wife as they get older. That's the relationships you're in. All this protect us and we need, that's crap at this point. We're past that, ladies. You guys are complaining about the same stuff that was in the movie Jungle Fever, and that movie was 30 years ago. It's a wash. It's over. Find a girlfriend. That's the closest you're gonna get to happiness. Next video is gonna be a P-Hub star breaking down her dating rules. Let's get to it.
Jealous type when dating. I know you talked about being a jealous type when dating. Would you let a guy you're dating hook up with other girls if you were doing work with other people?
No. Because the thing is, like, you to date a porn star, you have to remember it's just work. But like outside of it, I'm not anybody else.
I know you talked about being a
All right, this is why a lot of those P-Hub stars, they end up with mentally ill men. This is why a lot of women end up with mentally ill men. Then when the relationship go over, the guy's like, oh my God, I want to take myself out. I want to do this. Or they go and take her out. You know why? Because those are the only type of guys that are willing to be your boyfriend. Those are the only type of guys that's willing to actually go through your dating standards of worshiping you. See, at some point, a woman is going to get desperate, but men with logical thinking are actually the fake men to her, and it's going to boil down to whatever guy follows her dating rules, which is typically going to be a mentally ill man who's doing anything just to get to the cat. That's the problem. She's only going to attract guys who cannot get the cat naturally, because logical men would start to downgrade their standards as they get older and start to look for a woman more submissive. But only the mentally ill man will continue to chase a woman for the streets. And that's just real talk. Next video, we got my man Sneaky O who's gonna be breaking down the double standards. Let's get to it.
Any of you ever experimented with another woman?
Yes.
Okay. Would you ever date a man who's experimented with another man?
No. Double standards, bro.
No.
Okay.
See, they all pretend they're woke and stuff like that. They get to be bisexual, but they get disgusted if we do the same. Who's programming that? Who's telling them that? Thank you, Robert, for the
I think women are less inclined to support bisexual men as potential dating prospects.
Yes.
Would you have a problem sucking a dick after it's been inside another guy's?
Yeah, definitely. What the?
See, the reason why you have women that answer questions like that and full of confusion is because there's no one giving them boundaries. There's nobody around to say, hey, don't do that, or hey, don't do that, or don't do this. When there's no father around, or if the father is beta and just letting the women run free, women do whatever their imagination allows them to do, how it feels for that moment. This is why a lot of women make so many bad mistakes at a young age, and they have to pay for it later in life. But then later in life, they never really suffer the consequences of their bad mistakes. All they do is just keep surrounding themselves by weaker people. That's how it works. The woman that makes the most mistakes is going to end up around the most brokenest people in the world, and she's going to end up with a man who is mentally, psychologically, and financially broken inside. When you start seeing these guys get in fresh relationship in their 40s with a baby mom with like 4 or 5 kids, that guy is broke, psychologically messed up, and he's just off a little bit. That's what most of these women have to date. You have to date the guy who doesn't see the unaccountability mistakes that you made, because most guys can see, if I get with her, this is just going to be a future problem. But the mentally ill man sees it as being okay. This is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys are able to get the message behind the video. Comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.